All right.
Hello.
Welcome. Happy Monday.
It is a Monday. We're officially recording on a Monday again.
We're back to it.
I'm Derek, if you're new here.
And I'm Robbie.
And this is the Late Game Link podcast where we come together every week to talk about whatever's going on, you know?
Any and all media.
Yeah.
I feel like I bring more video games, that kind of knowledge to the table. Derek, more comic books, but the Venn diagram, as you know,
And
complete. For sure. There's a lot in the middle.
I think there's like a general, geek zeitgeist that we collectively are tapping into from different angles. So if that's of any interest to you, stick around.
Yes, please do.
But we're on episode 9, so that's exciting.
9. This is the 9th week.
9 is
that's like over 2 months.
it's kind of a lot.
We're
So
getting there. Hey, that's on us. We acknowledge. We had some technical difficulties with the filming, but we've kind of just been putting stuff out and only telling a couple people about it. But I feel like now we're gonna slowly start. We need to kind of make our TikTok account, and we'll start branching. I feel like we need to start commenting on other shit.
Yeah, I mean, in our defense, what I will say is I feel like for people who've never done anything like this before, I feel like we're at a very good place. I think that we are leagues ahead, and I feel like this was not to.
I mean, I enjoy it even if nobody's watching.
That's what I'm saying.
We could just not post these, and I'm still having a blast.
I still feel like it's but
I think it's just good to come together every week and talk about a structured, nerdy laundry list of things.
Yeah,
I don't know. I enjoy it. So.
That being said, if you do like it as a outside individual from Robbie and I, definitely feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and all that.
Share with your friends.
But
we should probably. I'm not a huge social media person, which I feel like I used to be back in the day, but I'm not anymore. I could be ADHD talking or something, keeping up with it, but I feel like we should get our socials going and tagging us. This is where you can find us personally, and it's coming.
Stay tuned.
It's coming. Like we said, we're enjoying it even without all that. So that's the next step, I guess. But yeah, for anybody new and people that are already listening throughout the weeks, we always start with our topics of the week, kind of like current events, or just maybe not something that's current in the news, but is something that we have individually interacted with in the last week since filming the last episode. So Derek, I think you start us off.
Yeah, I am going to start with, for those who watched last week, I have been talking about the video game Dispatch, made by a company whose name I'm not remembering right now, in association with Critical Role. It is a choice-based superhero literal dispatch game with a story, and the final 2 episodes came out last week. So I, as a overall maybe just review and my thoughts on it, I definitely liked it. I think the word that I want to highlight, if nothing else comes away from this conversation about Dispatch, is the word fine. I think fine, and not in a shady way, because I feel like that could sound shady. I definitely said fine in a way, but this as a game, if this is a test, it absolutely passes. I think there are some glaring criticisms I have overall, and I think that a lot of it is story related, which is such a surprise because I feel like Critical Role is something I have a lot of faith in typically when on a story front. But in a choice based game, again, no gay options in 2025. I'm noticing, and also I think that the relationships that are thing in the game, I feel are just not as fleshed out as they need to be. For a game like this, and in a post. I was just talking to my friend Kyle about this, but in a post Baldur's Gate 3 world, everybody does have to step their game up when it comes to a choice based romance
you even
thing.
Said it. You have faith in Critical Role kind of backing this, and maybe they didn't have a lot of say in the story. I don't know how that works. I don't know their definitive tie into this.
Right.
But I think you're right in the fact that it is surprising that is something that isn't quite an option, especially with superheroes. I don't know, that realm to me seems the path of least resistance.
It's pretty gay
to get into the gay realm.
And I mean, there are like characters in the game that appear to be some genre of LGBTQ, but like I feel like it's not enough, and like I hate to be like step it up, but like genuinely I feel like this game could be so much better. And maybe just as like a final note of like why I think I'm willing to give this game overall a thumbs up is because I think it operates more, and I said this last week, as like a proof of concept for an inevitable DC Justice League Unlimited game where like you're dispatching the Justice League around the planet as like Martian Manhunter on the Watchtower. Like that is what this I feel like could be. And if anything, this game shows that there is potential for like this genre of thing to exist.
It could like become its own type of game.
Yeah,
Like,
and
like how like the mystery dungeon games are like their own type of thing, but many IPs have used that
format. Exactly. What that's a fantastic parallel.
Hey, 9 weeks in, we're starting to get it.
Hey, we're speaking the same language. It's I like this game, and I'm hoping for more in this genre. I saw there was like, they asked Aaron Paul, who's like the main voice in the game, they asked him like, are you gonna do season 2? And I don't remember what he said, but it gave no. It gave like, I don't know if that's something that we're gonna do. He said like, oh, it was really crazy, and I was recording lines for like 2 months or something. Like he didn't sound like excited. Okay. So I don't know what that looks like, but even he
gave a real Gwyneth Paltrow answer.
Yeah, it was kind of like
I don't even know what my words or acting was used for. I just show up and get paid.
I didn't see the clip. I read it, so maybe it just read this way in text. But like it gave. I'm pissed off that I'm in an interview about this, or you're asking me about this in this interview. Yeah. So I don't know, but I think there is a lot of enthusiasm. I'm seeing a lot of people online like really rally around this game and like push for like more. I think a lot of people see the vision. So overall, Dispatch, as I said, fine. Just my other topic of the week just kind of leads into Dispatch was nominated, I think, for one Game of the Year award at the Game Awards, or not Game of the Year, but it's nominated for one award at the Game Awards. Okay. And I figured maybe we could just talk about the Game of the Year nominees.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that you wanted to talk about that, because that is something that I feel like I like to get into every year, and it always sneaks up on me, and I'm like, I don't know. I need other people to tell me this is happening once again this year, and I get excited about it. So,
yeah. So the nominees for Game of the Year at the Game Awards this year, which I'm not always super tapped into the Game of the Year.
Can I try to guess? Can I try to guess
yeah.
Before? All right. What I think, and there's a game that's on my list, and I just feel like it was like one of the big games that came out this year, was the Expedition 33.
Yes.
Okay.
That is one of the 6. Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Claire Obscure, yes. So what else came? So I feel like there's always the Nintendo grab, right? So I think the Donkey Kong.
Yes.
For the Switch 2.
Donkey Kong Bonanza is on there.
And then what would be like a PC? Ooh, see, this is where you start losing me. I don't know. Like, what? Yeah, I feel like you're going to say some of these, and I'm going to be like, oh, like, okay. Like that. I think so those are my 2. I'm glad I got 2. You tell me the rest. Yeah.
So, Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I did not play Death Stranding, but...
Yeah, I am not tied into that.
The people who like Death Stranding, because that's Kojima, are really into that. And I feel like it's something that if I gave a lot of attention and energy to, I feel like I would really see the vision as well. I just haven't gotten into it. But yeah, Death Stranding 2.
Okay.
Hades 2, which just came out.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. I loved the first Hades.
I liked Hades. I am not sure what is different about... I haven't looked into what the leap from Hades 1 to 2 is. But it does look really cool. And I do love Hades, like, down. So...
Well, I think it's nice when a rogue, is it light or like? I think it's light, right?
I think it's light.
Roguelite?
Yeah.
Game. I feel like I should know that, but now I'm like kind of blanking.
We don't claim to be experts, so
yeah, just people, people with podcast equipment. I think there's a lot of people that don't like those kind of games.
Yeah.
So it's always refreshing when a game like that does get into like a nomination.
Yeah.
It like proves like how good it is, I feel like, because that is a very specific like gameplay in those types of games.
And I think what I like about it is like there is like a gameplay loop, you know, like I think in a time where games are so expensive, I don't know how much Hades costs. I don't know if it's that typical like, you know, $70 price point or whatever that's happening right now. The
first one was only like $20-$30 or something.
Yeah.
Like that. So there's no way.
But either way, I appreciate a game that truly does have like a ton of game like replayability potential, and I feel like Hades 1 really, I feel like it was one of those things that you could dip into and just you know, revisit. The last two are Hollow Knight, Silk Song. I'm not sure if you are familiar with Hollow Knight.
Okay.
I'm not super familiar.
I'm familiar with. I tried to play the first one. This could maybe be a hot take.
Oh, you did.
And I'm a platformer guy too. I like.
You do like platforms.
I did not like Hollow Knight. Maybe just because it felt extremely slow. I can kind of get, you know, where some people might feel a lot of like wonder maybe from it, or like kind of like an adventure. Like I can definitely see where that will like pique people's interest. It just felt way too slow for me.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know, maybe the lack of certain mechanics, or I don't know. I'd have to give a better, like, concise kind of A to B review of it, but it just did not stick for me. So I know, like, it has like a diehard fan group, and that will probably be a hot take. But
I know this.
Hey, I'm glad people are getting second games of like their shit. You know, like that's always like a good thing, no matter what. So.
I am super unfamiliar, and I feel like it came up this year when this like sequel game came out, and I just was kind of like, oh, I didn't realize we all like this. You know, like I just feel like I saw so much enthusiasm from people that I really trust, like online and like in those sort of like spaces. So. I don't know. Maybe it's something I would try eventually, and it's got a Game of the Year nomination, so congrats.
Yeah, but, that's awesome.
The last one is a game that I'm not super familiar with called Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's like a medieval war game. I don't know if that's what that is.
Yeah,
okay.
it is. I'm trying to think of like what it compares to, and I can't think of anything at the moment because again, I haven't even played the first one either. I know I had a friend who was like mentioned it before and like said they enjoyed it, but again, that's just something. I think there's only so many AAA titles I have time for in a year.
Absolutely,
and some of them just slip the list. So that one I'd be intrigued to maybe getting into, especially now that it's on this list. I feel like that might make me want to revisit it. Because I've heard of it, but I never was like, let's put it on my list. So yeah, this is an interesting.
Well,
list,
I was going to ask you upon reviewing those 6 options if you want to place a bet. What do you think's going to win?
I think it's Expedition 33. That's what I think it's going to be. That was my very first instinct thought was I'm just trying to think of this year what got the most hype. And that was like by far, I feel like the most news I saw for a video game.
I feel like it is uniquely advantaged in that it kind of came out of nowhere. Has this like French development team or whatever. I feel like it's just like a really standout option. Like Donkey Kong Bonanza is not winning this, like in my mind, because it's like and I haven't played that game, and from what I've seen, it seems like fun and engaging and like a real maximization of like Switch 2 stuff.
Yeah,
but
it's supposed to be really good. I have it. I haven't played it yet, but I own it, and I am excited to play it. But yeah, as bad as this sounds, this could also be a hot take. I don't know. I'm
firing off hot takes.
I think it should be rare when Nintendo does win a Game of the Year.
Yeah.
For example, like, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, that's the rarity I'm talking about. I don't think Nintendo usually does that caliber of games, and that's okay. I have a lot of Nintendo products and a lot of Nintendo games, but they aren't like, always groundbreaking in that aspect.
They're not innovating every year.
Yeah,
that's not happening.
You know what you're getting with Nintendo. You are getting the Nintendo IP. You're getting Pokemon, you're getting Mario. Like, that's what you're getting, and it's great, and I love it. But yeah, they're not cranking out Expedition 33 kind of shit, you know. So, yeah, I'm also willing to bet that Donkey Kong will not win, but who knows? I don't know.
Yeah. But that basically sums up my topics of the week was Dispatch and Game Awards. But what do you got this week,
Sweet.
homie?
And this is something that I think you might have briefly mentioned on the last podcast. And you're like, maybe I'll save that for a later date, or maybe we were talking about ourselves. I don't know. I watched the Fantastic Four movie, the new one with Pedro Pascal and all them. I
Not
think
all them.
honestly, I don't know the rest of their names.
It's wait. It's Vanessa.
It's a Stranger Things guy.
Yeah. He's
Eddie, right?
Yeah.
He's Eddie in Stranger Things.
He had a thing
right?
with Doja
Eddie?
Cat.
I did not know that. Wow. Good
Yeah.
for him. Good for him.
I'm saving this thing I was going to go on. Vanessa Kirby is the name of the actress for Sue Storm.
Okay.
Who it's the.
Yeah. What is she in?
I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't know. I was like, she looks like a person that could be like vaguely resembling like another actress I might know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's Sue Storm. Maybe is that just like cookie cutter blonde woman? So I don't know. Maybe I was getting that vibe. I don't know.
And then dude from the
chef show.
Yeah. Man, this is just I don't know.
I
don't know the podcast today.
Fucking it up so bad. The chef show. The with the dude from Shameless. It's like the main guy. Lip is like the main dude. What the fuck is that show? I can't believe we can't.
First of all, everybody knows what we're talking about. So I'm not even gonna. We don't have to say
so
it.
Bad.
But
like
the bear.
The bear. I was about to say the kitchen.
Mm-hmm, the bear.
Yes, him. Yeah.
Stars of the Fantastic Four. Stars of.
Wow, man, we're selling it. Yes, with them. I think you briefly said you're like, that's kind of mid. I would definitely initially give the same review, I guess. Mm-hmm. I had 3 things. 2 that was like, what's going on here? Or 2 that I'm like, I don't like this. And then 1 where I feel like would be a good question for you. First off, Reed Richards, the Mr. Fantastic. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be the smartest man in the world. And I know, you might have gave me a reason for this, but I want to put it on the pod.
Yeah.
When they get back from tracking down Galactus and he goes, I will save your planet, but I need your son. First thing he does when they get back to Earth, all the reporters are like, did you find a way to save our world?
Oh, they were confident for it. They said, how did you beat Galactus? And he said, no.
And he goes, oh no, we didn't beat him. And they're like, well, did you find a way to save us? And he goes, he tells the world that. And before he even said it, I remember because I was kind of doing chores while I was watching, and I perked up and I was like, he's not going to fucking tell him. And I feel like that was the most naive kind of thing, Mm-hmm. Especially as a character who's supposed to be smart and they're conversing with the general public. It seems like every day they're tied in with the UN. Mm-hmm. The dude's publishing, unlimited amount of academic and scientific papers. And you're telling me he didn't have the hindsight? Because the first thing is the world's going to go, well, we're going to give your son away to save millions, to save billions, right? One life for billions. That's the immediate, it's going to cause a riot. People are going to burn your place down and try to take the kid from you to save the world, right? Why the fuck would you do that? So that I thought was crazy. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I know when we talked about this the other day, I feel like, part of it is Reed Richards is portrayed across everything as very, very intelligent. He's one of the smartest beings in the Marvel universe. Mm-hmm. But he does lack social awareness, and that's commented on frequently. Mm-hmm. There's times where they've alluded to there being some sort of Asperger's or autism sort of spectrum thing going on with Reed Richards as a character. I'm not giving Marvel credit for that. I'm just saying that's a way to read it. But another way that just now hearing that you say that, I feel like it makes me think about how I feel like in general, in a different movie, the rest of the movie would have been them planning a Galactus defense for the world while fighting off, various people and superpowered beings and yada
like they
yada.
would have called the military.
Yeah, who would have said,
that,
okay, we're going to get this baby to give to
Yeah.
this celestial being. I feel like this movie does, and it was in a different Earth than our Earth. You know, it was in this kind of retro future, 1960s kind of nostalgia thing. And I feel like this movie really assumed the best in everybody. I think there was a real pro humanity, like thing, like sheen over this whole thing.
Like there was the innate human kind of reaction of that, but then everybody was still good in the end.
Because I even think about when they're preparing a defense for Galactus, like a global defense like thing. Spoilers for fucking Fantastic Four, obviously. But like entire parts of the world are willing to go through like global power outages.
Oh yeah,
in order
and they're
to
giving resources. Like
they're
all like no longer at war. They're like, all right, this country has this resource, this country, and they all come together, yeah.
So in general, I think the vision for this movie is very, like, pro-human in a way that, I mean, is jarring to you and I who live in this world.
Well, it's also, like, isn't Fantastic Four, like, the 50s, right? Or when's it's supposed to emulate the 50s version of the future or something?
Yeah,
like that kind of...
They're weird science, debuted in, the comics in the 60s, and, like, it's, like I said, I like that aspect about like the global power outages to fuel the science. Like I'm like that. Yeah. That is kind of like fun.
Yeah,
a fun thing about the movie. I think.
Back in those decades, there was those kind of pushes for things. And like there was like whether or not you want to call it propaganda or not, but there's always like you do your part during this time of war or whatever. Like that's kind of fits that time period, like you said, way more than now.
Than the world that we live in today, where like again we know like if that happens, like
oh, we're fucked.
who's the mercenaries? Blackwater is in the building. Like when the press conference ends, they've been dispatched.
Yeah, exactly. Baby's getting nabbed. So yeah, that was the one thing. So maybe I guess I did not realize that Reed Richards might not be socially intelligent as he is just physics intelligent, I guess. So that I was a little like questionable, but if they make that kind of statement or if that's what it's supposed to be, then I'm completely okay with that. Second thing, and I just thought this was like tacky. and maybe you can
I might agree. Let's see.
And I know they're called the Silver Surfer, right? Like, that's the whole point. And maybe you can, like, say why they have a surfboard. And I know they kind of touched on the lady, like, being taken from her world. And she, like, looked like she lived on the beach, so maybe she had a surfboard. Like, okay, whatever, I get all that. But they show scenes where she just, like, can just phase through matter, right? And she can, like... she travel at almost like light speed. Right?
She faces her hand into Sue's womb at one point.
Yeah, trying to like right. But when she's chasing them in two separate times, when they're doing like the almost like the time travel, like the light
through the wormhole,
through the wormhole, that, and when they attack Galactus with all the lava, she is legitimately surfing. Like she can just like she doesn't have to like. The physics of the lava making her... She can just go in, like, the straightest, most fastest possible line, phasing through everything she needs to get to them. Why is she doing, like, surf tricks on a wave of lava?
We don't agree. You're hammering the no fun allowed sign into your front lawn.
It felt tacky. It felt like Marvel's... MCU tacky to me.
Okay, like, I was not the biggest fan of this movie, but you're telling me that when they were at warp speed going through a wormhole and she is surfing the inside of this wormhole chasing them through light speed, that's not cool to you? That's not like exciting to you? I mean, it doesn't activate?
That was better. It was better than the lava.
The lava because
at least the worm speed, wormhole or whatever, has some like physics we don't understand because we can't do that in real life. But like, I don't know, just it felt so weird anytime she surfed after I saw her like capabilities. I'm like, I could just tell it was for a movie. Like that.
I think the Silver Surfer in general is like a very like rule of cool character. Is a very like there is no logic to this other than because Galactus has other heralds who don't have a surfboard. So like that's
Did
not.
they ever explain why they have a surfboard?
I'm not the most read on Silver Surfer comics, to be honest. So I couldn't tell you, but
I'm like assuming that they were taken from a planet where they surfed like that.
I think it's specific to I know this was a Lady Silver Surfer, but like the original iconic Silver Surfer Norrin Rad is like even that name is like rad. I feel like he's very like rule of cool of a certain time and like I think he just is like that. I don't know. I'm not sure, but the surfboard is part of him. I mean, it's like...
Well, I can tell that's like just of the time of when the comics came out. Like this is...
Yeah.
This is decades ago and like it's comics and they're just trying to think of new shticks and cool little things that, like a superhero or being can have. So like, all right, yeah, I get it's a product of just like comic books, right? Like that's how comic books are. But I don't know. The visuals of them actually surfing.
It bothered you.
It bothered me. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I don't know. And maybe that's, other people think that's cool. Like, I think you were saying we might disagree. But that, to me personally, it was more the lava. The lava was worse than the wormhole. But still, I was like it's one thing when they glide on it and fly and just you can tell that's like what they use to propel themselves. That's different when it's legit. They were like shredding, like they were doing like tricks.
She was hitting tricks on the lava wave. She was. And
it's like Thanos has a little muskrat that skateboards.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, that was a low blow there.
As like a herald, as like a I don't know. I think that I know you had a third thing, so I don't want to hijack it. But what I will say is, I think that as much as I just celebrated, some of the aesthetic choices made around like surfing and how much I like that. I think that Lady Silver Surfer, whose name I'm not remembering, Shala Ball, I think is her name. Yes. I am not the most happy with her inclusion because I feel like she was included specifically for there to be like a romantic plot for Johnny almost. Like I feel like that was 100%. But I feel like that's why they went with like Lady Silver Surfer. And I'm like, that choice to make the female surfer the herald of destruction for the planet, a woman. I feel like there could be a lens to that just wasn't applied because Doja Cat's ex-boyfriend was Joseph Quinn is his name.
There you go.
Needed like not a love interest because that's not what it was, but it was like he says, "Oh, the sexy silver lady," and like that's like part of the thing because he's like this like playboy. But like I just feel like we could have achieved the playboy aspect of Johnny's character and like the Silver Surfer being a woman in different that could have been different lanes, I agree. I feel like they did those together.
100% is because that's how they end up winning.
Yeah,
is because he was. And like you said, maybe not infatuated like romantically, but he was infatuated in some way to want to like learn her language and like I don't know. That kind of didn't make sense to me. Like his motives, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they didn't fully make it romantic, but it wasn't not at the same time. I don't know.
And it didn't have to be. Like I said,
because he did make comments like, "Oh, like she was pretty hot."
Yeah, he said it several times. He was like, "This sexy silver lady." I just wish that, like I said, if we're gonna do that, I would love for us to have because I'm not against gender bending in cases such as this. Where like realistically, Norrin Rad has fans as a character, and I did read a comic of his from 2015 that has amazing art that I'll show you images of at some point. But like I like that character, but I think you could totally do this story in another universe with a Lady Silver Surfer. I just think that like doing that for so obviously like the Human Torch romance subplot is like kind of cheap and not what
she was gone for like the last like 45 minutes of the movie and then she just pops back in. Well, maybe not last 45, but
she wasn't
she wasn't in it for like a good portion. And then right at the very end she just kind of comes in and like saves the day. I don't know. Maybe that proves towards the mid aspect of the review. But last thing, this is just not like a gripe or anything. This is just like I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm realizing I really don't know much about Galactus in general. He needs like lava pumped into his body. Like I was just very like what's going on with that?
I think that was an aesthetic choice.
Okay.
I think that was a Galactus.
Like, does he have to charge up because he's so big, or
Galactus is, and he looks goofy. He's got that 60s. I mean, a lot of characters designed by Jack Kirby look like that. A lot of them have the Jack Kirby helmet and like the Kirby wing. Like that is all very emblematic of that artist. Who R.I.P. Jack Kirby. Stanley stole a lot of credit from you, and we all know that. That's part of the whole conversation about all of this. But what I will say is, like, Galactus, despite being so technologically appearing, and especially in this movie, them really leaning into that. And I like how they depicted him overall. Galactus is not technologically based at all. Galactus is a primordial force of the universe. Like he's not fueled by lava.
Is he a celestial? Is that what it is?
He's not a celestial. Okay. He is good question though. He is almost like on the level of within the Marvel universe you talk about like the Phoenix Force, right? Like the Phoenix Force is the cosmic, spark of life made manifest in the form of cosmic flame. And like that's what, is it exists beyond our universe even. Galactus is, I would say, more similar to the Phoenix Force than to the Eternals, in that like Galactus was there at the creation of our universe as the devourer of worlds. He is a cosmic thing, entity that consumes planets and consumes life across the universe. So it's not, the lava does not fuel him. I mean, maybe it was depicted that way in this movie. I'm not really remembering a lot. Yeah,
there's tubes. Like that's how they attacked him. They severed his tubes, and lava was pouring out, and then the Silver Surfer surfs on the lava, and that I guess because of that they were able to get away. Yeah, that sort of thing. So then I started thinking I didn't realize he was like a dormant thing that had to somehow charge up, because it looked like he was almost charging, or even if it's not technologically, somehow cosmically, he was building energy to consume the world. That's kind of the vibe I got from it. But I never had that vibe prior to this movie, and I don't know much about Galactus, but I just assumed he could just fucking kind of show up.
I want to say that he's moving, but they honestly, the most I've read of Galactus was there was a run of the Ultimates where they reworked him. They I don't even know how to explain it, but they turned him into the Lifebringer, and he had white armor, and he was
so he's almost the opposite.
And then he was expanding the bounds of the universe, and that's again interesting concepts. I'm not the most versed on Galactus, but if anything, maybe the lava was just kind of to demonstrate that part of the consumption is it does fuel him, so he does need
he has that hunger.
He has to eat.
He has to feed. He kept saying he has to feed or whatever.
And his fascination with Franklin, interesting. I don't know what that. I don't know where exactly we're taking that.
He was he's gonna take over my spot. So Franklin's just gonna be consuming worlds.
Franklin is kind of the GOAT, and they're gonna get into it, and you're gonna see. But Franklin is. Basically, they in the comics have established that this universe that they're all existing in is the 7th incarnation of the universe. There have been 6 before. Okay. Franklin will be in the 8th. Then we know that. When all this is over, Franklin will still be here. So Franklin's cool. Dang. I like Franklin.
He's a cosmic type.
Omnipotent. He's in the comics right now. I kind of love. I have to read this Fantastic Four run that's been coming out by Ryan North, but they made it so that he has unlocked his cosmic potential at maybe 10 years old, whatever he is right now. So he's unlocked full omnipotence and awareness and power. And so what he does is he has purposefully in the comics at 10 years old removed it from himself, and it returns to him every year on his birthday for one day, and then he'll he'll prevent a meteor shower that would have hit Earth in 200 days, and do stuff that I love that conceptually, because I think it speaks to the fact that he still gets to be a kid, and functionally that's the only way that the Fantastic Four.
It's almost that that impending he can't do this forever.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to grow up a little bit. So what happens when he gets to the point where he's not putting that off every year, you know?
But yeah, no, literally. But like, I think he also recognizes, you know, because he's omnipotent. He recognizes like it is important for me, you know, especially in my really secure, strong family of origin that is so supportive and like amazing. It's important for me to retain humanity, and like part of that is having a I mean, you know, it's a Fantastic Force. They're going between dimensions and into space all the time. But like, you know, to have a relatively normal childhood, that is an important, you know, jumping board for whatever my life or lives bring me post this point. So yeah, big fan of Franklin. I kind of love that Franklin's on the board.
That also made me think one thing I did like about the movie. The whole like wholesome vibe with like the brother and like the friend, and they're like, oh, we're the uncles, and like showing like they call themselves a family, and it wasn't like, it was including people that weren't blood related, and just, I don't know, it was nice. Like you think of like your friends either who like have children, or you know, just however that may work in people's lives, and there's many different ways it could. It's like, I don't know, it was like nice. It was a little wholesome, like, you know, like calling someone's kids calling their dad's best friend from childhood like my uncle. You know, like there's like always something nice to that, you know. So I did like that vibe. The vibe they gave.
They are the first family of the Marvel universe, and that's how they're kind of designated. And I think that's again they're like the origin. That's like you know, where they debuted before Spider-Man, you know, and Spider-Man crossed over with them very early. Like, you know, they really are the root of a lot of this, and like, I do think it's important to acknowledge that. Like, I think I like them having a moment, even if I wasn't super in love with this movie. And I'm really scared for what is to come because RDJ is Doctor Doom, and I just think that's like a bankrupt decision.
I forgot about that. Wow.
And I just feel like Doom is so essential to the Fantastic Four, and I just feel like if we're gonna do like I don't know, like Tom Holland, Peter Parker saying Mr. Stark, and then he's like, I'm not Mr. Stark, and shoots lightning. I just feel like there's like I just feel like that is so cheap. It's so cheap, and I just wish that we could. Victor Von Doom as a character has never been done right in a live action context, and I just feel like there is so much potential, especially with
they're gonna have to do a lot of work to get you to like
they will, and I don't know what that will yield, but if I could say one thing I really didn't like about this movie, and it's a little surface level, when Reed Richards goes up against Galactus, right? Like I don't have a problem with Reed Richards, especially in a moment where like, you know, Vanessa Kirby, you know, his wife is like off the board, and Galactus is about to get their son, him throwing himself at Galactus to fight. My thing is, if I'm Galactus and Reed Richards has the power to stretch, and I know it's like gross and it's hard maybe to animate and make look cool, he stretched him like this far, and he's like strained. I don't know if you remember. He's like
I had the same thought. I was like, I thought he could stretch a lot further.
Reed Richards can stretch. It's like I just feel like that was like so disrespectful to the character. And maybe they I think ultimately, I mean, Galactus would have won regardless. But even if while doing that, I feel like Reed could have wrapped himself completely. I just feel like we needed and it would have looked goofy, and it would have been whatever, but we're doing a Fantastic Four movie. Like, give me that. But ultimately, I think that they did kind of want to, I don't want to say reduce him, but like, I think that the spotlight was Sue Storm's sacrifice, and her being like able to, you know, force through. And in general, I like that Sue Storm was truly given agency in this movie. Like, she was not just the wife or the mother.
Oh, yeah.
She was, even at when they were talking about what each of them do.
She was a diplomat. Like,
she's speaking at the UN. She's leading peace talks. Like, that shit is so cool. I did like that. Maybe they're trying to show that he was, you know, Galactus can kill him, you know, or something pretty easily, and he was almost like playing with him. I did have the thought. I was like, I thought he could stretch a lot further, but again, I like don't know too much about the Fantastic Four, and I was like, I wasn't looking into it. But I'm gonna show you some pictures of some of his feats because he has done some really zany stretches. All right. But yeah, no. Any other thoughts on Fantastic Four? I feel like I think
we did it. I think we, but yeah. So all right, but there were just a couple things where and this is just how I've been feeling more and more. about specifically Marvel content as of late.
MCU.
Yes. And even not MCU, like, I guess isn't technically everything now in the MCU, like even the TV shows, they like technically tie in.
Yeah,
even
yeah.
it can be a very small connection,
Yeah.
but okay. So yes, MCU then. Any of the shows or the movies, I don't know. I feel like I was into it before, and I'm not quite too into it now.
Yeah, they need to shake.
But I watched it. So I mean, it was enough for me to. I'll give it a go.
They're gonna reset the board with Doomsday. So
right.
I'm hoping we just recast everybody.
That'd be nice.
I don't think we will, nice. But I think a fresh start would be cool.
Well, yeah, that was the big one for me this week because I knew you'd have some thoughts as well. But then a little update, I guess, from 2 episodes ago. This is, I don't have much to say other than the fact that I have been playing a Game Boy Advance Yu-Gi-Oh game. Because previously I had talked about how I kind of wanted to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh, but the space right now seems very janky, and I'm specifically talking about the game itself and its like mechanics, and you can just shuffle your deck and have your opponent win on the first turn. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like how it used to, and I kind of wanted the nostalgia of the old cards, but the old cards are now like super expensive. If you just want to buy like a Dark Magician, it's like all right, so I can't get the old cards in my like physical possession. So I've been playing a Game Boy Advance Yu-Gi-Oh game. It's exactly like, it's hitting the spot. Like, it's hitting the nostalgia of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's all the cards I remember. I think it was like, what did it say? It was year like 2000 maybe, or 2001. I think on the title screen it says like right around that, like that sweet spot. So yeah, no, I've been really enjoying it. So I kind of answered my outreach, at least for the moment. Still, if anybody knows better routes, let me know. But I would recommend, if that kind of piques your interest.
Do you remember the name of the game?
I was thinking that when I was writing this down, and I forget because there's multiple different ones that I have. So I will have to get
that can be an update.
Yeah, that'll be an update next.
Tune in next week.
Yeah, but it's great. It's scratching the itch.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I feel like we've already had some hot takes, but
one or two, mostly you.
If I'm just gonna tack onto it now, every week we also do at least one hot take, because this is a podcast. And we have to piss people off. So I guess get more engagement. I don't know. Whatever. That's just the nature of the podcast.
Start a conversation.
You gotta start with some crazy shit, I guess. I don't know. But we like to do hot takes. And I don't know if this is like too hot. I think it's hot for you. Florence Pugh. I just don't see it. I don't get it. I don't think she's bad. I just feel like there's a lot of people that really like her as an actress. And I feel like I'm missing that spark.
I think it's not just me. I think that that's
it's a hot take.
I think it's a hot take. I know you said that you've seen Midsommar. I'm trying to think of what else you would have seen. You might have seen her in.
I mean, I feel like there's been a lot of things. So like Oppenheimer, she was in that. I mean, she wasn't like the biggest. She wasn't the largest role in that. She
like fucks Cillian Murphy in that movie, right?
Yes. She's like his like secret lover, I think. Like they kind of do it in behind closed doors. But she's in like the Black Widow stuff. I saw because there's multiple of those out now, right?
She was in. This is me, even though I hate the MCU. This is me showing that I know everything about the MCU. She
big MCU episode so far. We'll stray away after this. I promise. There's nothing else I think that is MCU.
She was in the Black Widow movie. Then she was in the Hawkeye series.
That's what it is. Because that was Haley Steinfeld.
Yes,
was in that, and I did watch. I think the first season of that.
Haley Steinfeld, the 30-year-old young Avenger. Anyway.
Yes.
And then she was in Thunderbolts, which I do think, listen, and I'm dragging the MCU today. I don't care. It's not my favorite. But I would be curious about your take on her. I'm not saying Thunderbolts is a good movie, but she is the core of that movie, and it is really dependent on her. And I think that everything good in that movie ties back to Florence Pugh. I think that she does the damn thing. But
maybe I'll have to. I mean, I can easily watch that in the next week. I can spare like 2 hours. So yeah, maybe I'll leave this open ended. My hot take to like to be continued. But yeah, that was something we were talking the other day, and I like mentioned her for. I think we were talking about like the MCU.
Yeah.
And
she was in Dune too.
Oh, and she was in Dune. Yeah, she was Emperor. Again, not a huge role. So maybe I'm not giving her flowers.
We were talking about that sickening face mask, the chainmail face mask. That's what I remember about her.
Yeah,
in Dune too.
that thing was badass.
That was
I
cool.
feel like that was a cool. But yeah, I don't know. I can tell she is like either has already become or is like starting to really get pushed into the mainstream. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why. And again, I don't think she's bad.
I was gonna say.
I feel like they're trying to get her to be one of the next like it people, and I just don't feel that way.
You think they're forcing it, and she doesn't. And not in a rude way, but you just think that she's not she's not the moment.
Like I don't think she's winning Oscars. You know, like that's
Florence Pugh, or this is strictly your perspective,
yeah,
okay?
Yep.
But Florence Pugh, Jennifer Lawrence.
I'm not a big Jennifer Lawrence person either. I'd put them like on the same.
Florence Pugh. Let's go her Dune co-star. Florence Pugh,
and again,
Zendaya.
They're not bad. Okay, so I like Zendaya in certain things, but like Zendaya in Spider-Man, for example, I wasn't like the biggest Zendaya fan. But like her other stuff, like Euphoria, I think she did like a pretty decent adaptation of that character.
Yeah.
Her and I guess like Dune was like fine. What else did I see her in? I would probably say Zendaya over Florence Pugh.
I feel like, just as a slight tangent, I feel like Zendaya is Mary Jane is the complete fumbling on the creative's part, because like Mary Jane is not like that. Mary Jane in the comics is a celebrity socialite, you know, and like Zendaya is a real life celebrity socialite, and they have her playing this like womp.
She like doesn't talk to anybody. And
she's like a loner
cool.
rude girl, and it's like I just feel like if I had the opportunity to have Zendaya play MJ, I'd be like having her literally like play Zendaya essentially. That's like what I feel like is exciting. But what I was gonna say Florence. Okay, I was good. The comparison.
So Zendaya over and again, Florence isn't bad.
Is there something you would like to see from Florence that you're just not seeing?
What's the last movie she had that wasn't something
like franchise or
like if she's gonna be in everything now, I want like her version of Dune, right? Like I want Timothy Chalamet as a little bitch in the corner, and like let's see what she's got on her main movie, you know? I
mean, in general, the Dune movies, I feel like it really is like a Timothy Chalamet like thing, because even Zendaya,
I'm not saying like Dune in general. I'm just saying like I don't know. And this is like, I feel like I'm not doing a good job of like giving her a chance, I guess, or like what you're saying, like what would change my mind. I don't know. Just something that isn't Marvel and something that isn't her as like some side character.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm starting to see her everywhere. And again, I can't stress this enough. She is not bad. Like I don't think she's a bad actress. But as much as I've seen her pop into things, I feel like she is more and more becoming a household name, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, like sure, yeah, I guess.
Because I think that she, if I'm reflecting on like why people like her, or when I see people celebrate her, what are they celebrating? And I think that she kind of scratches that like as a celebrity, I think she has a very like relatable like she's putting out like I'm relatable, but not in like a Jennifer Lawrence way where I feel like even she's admitted in recent interviews like like I feel like I leaned too hard into that in my public persona and it made people hate me. I think that Florence is just like, I don't know, everything I know about her, I feel like I just think of her as like she's kind of like
Like how she interacts with the public, not necessarily roles.
I don't want to say she's like not taking it so seriously, but I think that's what she gives off a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've never seen anything with her like as a person like interacting with reporters or the public. I'm just thinking about like her roles,
specifically
and movies I've seen, and again, some of this could be tainted just due to the fact that it's like new MCU stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm just like I'm sick of this shit. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to. Maybe there is something that she's in. I liked Midsummer. Again, I thought she was like good in it, but it wasn't like.
Didn't rock your world.
You know, yeah, I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of like examples of other.
Did you see Hereditary?
I did not.
Oh, she's not. But that's okay. Those are sister movies, both directed by the same person. You should watch Hereditary, man. Right. I'd love to talk about that.
But yeah, if people are listening and you have like a way to show me how Florence Pugh is like one of the new it people, then like I'm all ears. I'm not saying she's bad. I don't know. I just don't see the hype as of yet.
Yeah,
as of yet. You know? Yeah. So I'm curious to see more. Without pushing that too much, we'll move over to you and see what your hot take is.
My hot take, and it's probably not the hottest take, but it's spurred on by. Well, I don't know actually, because I'm saying it's like not the hottest take, but I'm pretty sure that the live action Lilo and Stitch movie made $1 billion. I want to say, or it made a lot of money. I'm gonna fact check myself.
I didn't watch it. So wasn't it like bad? They changed the story. Hold up, did I not say on this podcast? Don't change the plot.
Oh yeah.
I hate when they change the plot.
The 2025 live action Lilo and Stitch.
I'd rather it be bad and keep the same plot than you change the fucking plot.
It is the first film of 2025 to reach over $1 billion of box office. So I think this is a hot take because
all right. Well, $1 billion is $1 billion.
I think, but the trend of live action remakes of these movies is like what I have written for my hot take is Disney live action reboots are offensive and disgusting. And I mean, sure, that's inflammatory language, but overall, I would say.
I don't feel so bad about the Florence Pugh anymore.
I just think it's like obviously, and maybe we're on the same wavelength because I feel like I surround myself with people who share this perspective. But first of all, you have 30 minutes TikTok sound like the children have been introduced to Lilo and Stitch via this live action movie, so that is Lilo and Stitch to them. That's crazy. And the same can be said for. They announced the Moana movie today, and Moana, I saw a thing about this. Moana is past my time as a child. I didn't see it in theaters. I didn't have any kids in my life that I saw it with, but I knew kids were all about it and dressed up for Halloween, sure. But like that movie came out 10 years ago, and a sequel, Moana 2, was in theaters in 2024. It came out last year, so now we have a live action that has come out. That is like such a quick turnaround of like. Animated thing to live action, and I feel like it just touches on this conversation that I think we've had on this podcast a few times of like, to a lot of people, like a live action film being like the baseline of legitimacy for like a intellectual project or property. Had this talk before. And I just think that's like it's so weird because it's so disrespectful to like the creators who actually work on this stuff and like actually like do this, like I don't know, like not to get too like sappy,
who can put out just as good of cinematic excellence in a different format.
Yeah, and there's so much art to animation and especially hand-drawn animation that no one does anymore. Like everything is CG, that's just where we're at in the world. No. But like hand-drawn animation, I just feel like is we all reflect on as like that is the golden era of like children's entertainment, and even outside of children's entertainment, you think about things like Samurai Jack, and you think about things like other forms of 2D animation that are just lauded, and I feel like that's like I just feel like the Disney live action reboots are kind of a smack in the face to that, and I think a lot of people feel that way.
I can't think of any that I've liked. I haven't seen many of them that like they've created. I saw Aladdin.
And that was not unnecessary is how I'll use that.
Yeah.
Because they also experimented there and they made new music that was featured in the live action that wasn't in the original thing, which is like, I don't know about that.
Now I think probably I haven't seen too many of them.
You saw Lion?
I'm not. Well, yeah, I saw the Lion King. That was terrible. That was pretty bad. I did like, however, enough to give it some positives. Maybe not like it totally, but the Beauty and the Beast live action. That to me was a pure like apples to apples, if that makes any sense. Like I feel like it was very verbatim. Yeah. It was legitimately just the animated, like almost scene by scene, acted out by people. And the only CGI was, well, not the only CGI, but the only person that was CGI was the Beast. And then all the like inanimate objects, obviously.
Lumiere.
Which again, still is like, it's kind of rough when they do that. But then I have other times with certain CGI where I allow it. Like The Hobbit, for example. I like the dragon, but I guess because that's like, they're not real.
Yeah.
So like if it's real, I don't know. Now I'm confusing myself, but I think that was probably one of the better ones I've seen, but I still get this isn't, right, or it doesn't fit right, like watching them. The Lion King was terrible.
Yeah. I don't remember how I feel about the Beauty and the Beast remake. I did see that one. I remember that they made LeFou gay in that one. I remember that being part of the marketing. You remember that?
LeFou?
That's like Gaston's little assistant guy.
Okay.
But like it wasn't in the movie. They just like put out headlines about that and like.
So it was in the movie, and they were just like
in the final scene when they're dancing the Beauty and the Beast, and everyone is happy. You see him dancing with a man, and that's for maybe
2 seconds,
0.8 seconds. You see LeFou dancing with a man, and they put out headlines that Josh Gad was playing the first gay character in Disney. Do you know that meme?
Crazy.
Do you know that meme that they have? That's like a meme. Maybe I know it just from being on like gay Twitter at the time, but like for a while there, I feel like Disney was like, this is our first gay character like 8 times in a row.
Yes.
And they and it was like constantly a thing, and then I remember there were a lot of memes about that. I don't know. I did see Little Mermaid. I think maybe it's just because I really like Halle Bailey and I feel like she has a beautiful voice and I have this issue with the live action reboots, but like I feel like the Little Mermaid movie was absolutely unnecessarily maligned, and it was there was a racial lens to that for sure, because a black person can't be a mermaid. But
true. Yeah, damn, that was
so
bad.
I'm gonna comment on my own bias there and point out that like that's one that I have a little bit more sympathy for, but at the same time unnecessary. I just like hearing Halle Bailey sing anything, so like I appreciated that aspect of it. But overall, I just am not on these live action reboots, and I am also, we're all collectively waiting for the day that you can't do anymore, because you have exhausted all of this. And I'm sure then you just make reboots of the reboots, which is, listen, scary times, but I don't know. I feel like I would be much more...
Sorry, continue.
In conclusion, because I'm gabbing, I would be much more excited by true commitment to new things. Because I would go as far as to say, even though it's a big moneymaker, the princesses, which I think are the center of a lot of this live action reboot, obviously they do the Lion King and stuff, but like, the princesses are the thing. I think Disney needs to like maybe examine like a different angle on like appealing to children via entertainment. Like I think like the princess stuff will always be there, and oh my god, we didn't even talk about live action Mulan. What the fuck was that? No,
I haven't seen that.
Well, it's not a musical, which is like okay,
it's not?
It is.
Do they sing the?
No songs, no be a man. It is not present. That's one of those like failure to fit, real fundamental failure.
All right.
But yeah, I think they just need to shift focus. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what it means, but
I think, and we're talking about like the quality of things that are coming out, whether they're animated or not. You kind of mentioned it with the Moana thing. Of the number 2 and then the live action so shortly after. It is too much in a short period of time. They're doing that with everything. That's why the MCU is shit now.
Yeah. That's why Star Wars isn't cool anymore.
Yeah, everything was good because it came out in moderation. Mm-hmm. It took a while because it takes longer to make something better, right? Mm. And instead of mass producing things and quickly getting things out the door, you were creating things in a time where their release dates weren't just like mobbing the media scene, right? And it's not this like sifting through, all this shit to try to find one good thing. It was, okay, this is the one new Disney thing this year, right? Like that's what it used to be. And now it's like there's 18 different things in Q3.
And make sure you renewed your Disney Plus subscription so you can watch the series on there too. That's what killed Star Wars. Is
too much shit.
Because I remember when, I don't know if you remember this. I remember for the first time seeing the trailer for Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, where you see the cross like lightsaber, and it came out Christmas that year or holiday that year,
Yep.
And there was back then, like that's what's gonna be so wild saying to my non-existent children, but like I remember when Star Wars had Prestige, when it was a one time, maybe a year. They definitely skip a year, like, or 2 years.
For sure.
Between episodes 2 and 3, I feel like there was like several year gap. And it was an occasion. It was an event, and you would go, and that was your engagement with the thing. But it would move the plot forward. And now there are Disney Plus series like at any given time of the year going for this brand that like just it cheapens everything so bad.
Yeah, everything's cheap. Yep. I think that's a good way of putting it. And it's got it needs to stop.
Yeah.
I feel like an old fucking man.
We'll see. I was gonna say there's something else I was gonna bring up as maybe a future review within this genre, but I don't know. I gotta think. I
think, like you said, it's a hot take in general. If you mass amount everybody together into one group of people, because $1 billion is $1 billion. Mm-hmm. But I think there's many people like us that would agree.
Yeah.
With that, maybe that's just our age. Like we came in kind of that sweet spot of some of these, classic movies, and then now they're kind of being ruined. So I don't know, but yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
And final note, truly, is just I feel like the ruining that we're talking about. First of all, I think that people feel like it's like beneath them to critique media made quote unquote for children. But no, like obviously we have to, you know what I mean, or like that. Oh, like that's. Why do you care? And I think that's why these things get so popular too, is because like people are like, well, what's the difference between classic Lilo and Stitch and the Lilo and Stitch where Lilo gets given up to CPS at the end? Spoilers for Lilo and Stitch live action, but CPS gets Lilo, and then she is so that Nani can go to college on the mainland in California. And I just feel like that is
What?
I just think there are real subtle messages.
Shit.
My tinfoil hat descending.
Why did they change the plot?
I think all of that is so worth examination, and we have to talk about like the things that are getting baked into the minds of children via a $1 billion movie.
Damn.
So that, but also it does kind of speak to and not to transition us forward, but it speaks a little bit to what I was thinking for our discussion question this week, because every week we have kind of like a prompt kind of, just maybe conversation starter.
As you've heard up until now, we kind of just ramble for a good amount of time.
But
we like the idea of having one solid thing that's like a good discussion that we thought would be nice to talk about.
So I was on TikTok this week, and I followed this guy, Brandon Talks Movies, and Talk is like TikTok, so TOKS Movies, and Brandon is BRANDON. So Brandon Talks Movies, and he was doing a Avatar: The Last Airbender watch through, as like a 30-something-year-old guy. I don't know how old you are, sir, but reacting to it and then providing really thoughtful, thought-provoking, like episode reviews that are like 5+ minutes on TikTok that I'm so fascinated by, and it made me envious a little bit that like someone in 2025 could be experiencing this for the first time, because I like, it's another thing from my childhood that I remember where I was watching the finale of Avatar and like experiencing all of that for the first time. So I was hoping to use that as a launching pad for a discussion around like maybe something that you wish that you could experience for the first time again in kind of the lens of the scope of what we talk about on this podcast.
Which also, I think that is a great example. That is very similar to like kind of what we're about here.
Yeah.
You know, we like the idea of bringing something to the table that could be as big as something like Avatar, and it's like I've just never gotten into that. Like I would love to maybe give it a try, right? So that's I think that's cool. That's something that inspired you. So what could I experience for the first time? I have a couple of things here that I just kind of like, they were my first immediate thoughts.
Go off.
This one, so for a specific video game, I had a couple, right? But truly, and this could sound like a tacky answer or like a bad answer. I think it also depends what age you are for this one, because this game now was very different than when it came out. The first time I ever played Minecraft, I am telling you, it was one of the first times I can remember. You know, and I was the age where I wasn't like 6 playing my Game Boy, right? Like I was a little bit older, and you know, so this was when I think it just converted from like alpha, because it wasn't out. It wasn't like a fully out game. It was like in the, you know, alpha and beta of the game. I think it like just switched to beta. I would have to get a year on this, but it was actually my friend had it on his computer, and he was like, yeah, you got to check this out. And like, this is when you couldn't do really anything in the game.
Yeah.
Like, there were no objectives. There, you know, most of the items that exist now, like, did not exist. It was very much just like wander around and like create things with blocks. The wonder I felt from this game as like an 8th grader, I think I was like in like 8th grade, right? Yeah. Oh my God. I like specifically still remember it. Like how I don't know. I like to think of myself as like somewhat of like a creative person, or more like appreciates when creativity can really like shine through, and like kind of give someone something blank and see how they go about it. Yeah. And that is like the definition of this game. I mean, it's not really like that too much now because how big it's gotten. There's kind of like this cookie cutter way of going about it now, but when it was first kind of hitting the scene, it felt like I was discovering a new world. You know, the wonder and awe I felt for this game was insane. I remember I was so obsessed with it. I was asking my friend every day, like, because he lived on my street. I was like, can I come up and like play it on your lap? I didn't even own it. I was going to my friend's house and playing it on his computer because I was that like obsessed, enamored by this game. Yeah. I feel like I think we might have talked about this. You were never like a big Minecraft person. Yeah,
I did not understand. Also, like, computer gaming at that time was super foreign to me. So like it was never going to happen for me at that time, you know?
Yeah, no, it is
but
what it is.
But I do feel like I kind of missed I don't want to say the sweet spot, but like, because I could always play it now, but...
Yeah, it's very different now than it was, and I think there's a lot of games that, when they evolve over time, because like we kind of talked about, you know, the landscape of gaming right now, and like the free games, and like let's update it over time, and that's kind of like a new way of going about it. Yeah. And there always is that inevitable like year-in sweet spot, and then it kind of just eventually plateaus or goes down. This definitely had, very biased opinion, had that sweet spot, and it was, I'm telling you, it like top 5 game of like, when being introduced to it, just being like, whoa, you know, like this is, and something like that was like, had never been done before. You know,
I was gonna say, I think what's exciting, and might come up in some of the other things we say about, but especially for Minecraft, like I feel like what was exciting probably about it too was like the potential. And
Yeah.
like being in that
Oh,
moment
yeah.
of like, oh my God, like I can do anything I want within this sandbox that has been, you know, laid out. Like I can, and I've seen, you know, I'm sure you've seen like where people will do like a map of Westeros in Minecraft, you know, like where they'll do like
Yeah,
something just super like off the wall,
Yeah,
a giant
yep.
Statue of Liberty or something
Yeah.
that takes up a whole map. But yeah, like in that moment when that's first out, and especially at that age, like you're
Oh, yeah.
like, whoa, the potential of
Yeah.
this.
Well, and, you know, I'm assuming most of the people that are listening to this now are around our age. But if anybody's listening who would be on the younger side, I can't explain enough because I don't think you would be introduced to something like this by your age because everything now is like a lot more technologically capable. Just sitting down for the first 30 minutes of being in this game and asking my friend like okay, so like what do I do? And he's like, oh, you can kind of do whatever you want, you know, do whatever, explore, blah blah blah. And I go, okay, well, where does it end? Like what? And he goes, no, it's unlimited. Like the world just keeps going. He's like, as you walk, it renders new world. That was like mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not like a video game expert. There easily could have been other games that had this mechanic in it, maybe not implemented to that scale, or I don't know. I'm not trying to say that Minecraft was like maybe the first ever to like do this tech to the best.
Oh, but
that was
for you,
my
yeah.
first like introduction to that. Now when you tell somebody that doesn't have that feeling of like wonder, whereas then like no other games were doing that, at least that I knew of. And just being told like it's unlimited, like it's endless, an endless world that could and every world's different. I was like, what?
That's pretty
Like, are
exciting.
you shitting me? Like, I'm going from like Crash Bandicoot, where every level is
There-
curated to where, you know, and
you
then
can
it's
you
like,
can jump against the invisible wall over here, you know.
Yeah, like it's very much a predetermined level to it's the possibilities are endless, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like, yeah, I was blown away by that. So I have to mention that on this conversation. Second thing that came to mind is a movie, and I do not know why. This movie isn't like the best movie in the world. I really just think it hit me at a very crucial time, like age-wise. I think it was just like maybe a more adult, quote-unquote adult movie. One of the first ones I had seen once I got to maybe, I was maybe like 10 or something like that, or 12, I don't know. But the movie Independence Day.
Oh, yeah.
That movie, I was going with a friend on their family vacation. We stopped at his aunt's house because they're like, yeah, she's on the way. We don't see her that much. I'm gonna stop at his aunt's house. His aunt's house, like real tiny place, but it was like quaint. Like she almost gave grandma vibes. And we're like, she had like a couple DVDs, and she's like, what do you guys want to watch? And I've never heard of Independence Day. We watched that. Everybody else mid-movie fell asleep, and I was sitting there glued to the screen.
Right.
I was like, this is like, I don't know. That was one of the first sci-fi movies that I saw that I was like super into, and I understood what was going on like all the way through.
Yeah.
You know? So that I can still picture myself. I've only been to that woman's house one time in my life, and it's so vivid, that memory, and sitting there in that room and just
It like changed her trajectory.
I was like, this movie is sick.
I mean,
Like,
what I'll say about Independence Day is like, you know, like, listen, this, for me, everybody should know me if you've been listening, but like, that movie makes me like proud to be an American, low key. Like that movie, there is something to that movie. I'm also being hyperbolic, but it just to be clear, but it is objectively a really exciting and like, I mean, I remember moments. Like you remember the end. You remember when the thing blows up. Like it's so.
And the dad who's fucking cousin Eddie from National Lampoon. He like gives his life to save the world. You got the president giving that speech.
Yeah.
The whole like, have been contacted for the first time by aliens. Like, I don't know. A lot of that stuff, like, just had never, like, I've never experienced or, like, you know, seen a movie like that before. Because, again, it's right in that sweet spot of, like, I am old enough to now see some of these things. Like, I'm not 8 anymore. and like I can kind of understand what's going on, and it hit me at the perfect time, and I was like, this is fucking incredible. So, and again, I'm not saying like Independence Day, I don't know where I would rank that on a movie list for myself. Like, I'm not saying it's the best movie in the world, but the feeling that I had that night watching that movie, like, I would want that back.
Yeah.
That I wish I could bottle that and sell it. And lastly, this is very similar to the Independence Day vibe. Just in general, the basement sleepover with a friend or a couple friends, and you're like eating Doritos and playing like the PS2. So like it's 1 a.m, you're playing Need for Speed. I have written down
cans of Mountain Dew.
We ripped the Over the Hedge game for the PS2.
Not Over the Hedge.
Yes, they had this mini game where you were in golf carts in like it was one hole of a golf course, and they had like weapons in the golf cart, and it was like, you know, like Twisted Metal. It's like cars that run around an arena. You try to kill each other. It was that, but over the hedge with golf carts, and you could get boosts, and like they made invisible walls that would go around, like almost like a dome, like around the golf course, and we'd be like rotting up the invisible wall with our, like we were trying to break the game, like find glitches. Like we were obsessed with this Over the Hedge game. I do not know why. It was
I feel
sick.
like I have to have like seen this. Like I feel like
I mean, the game actually was very good. Like the gameplay, like the actual, it had a whole like actual like level based thing. But that was a mini game, which again, that's like not a thing anymore.
No.
Where you and your friends are like over and you're just obsessed with this like little mini game that's a part of this game that's not the actual campaign. It's just like this mini game. I have written here the Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Like all of these games, you know, that feeling, like getting that back of, I don't know, just there's like camaraderie to it. There's excitement because it's like you're not supposed to be, you normally would be sleeping and like not allowed to stay up this late. And
that is
I don't
a
know
specific
that
feeling.
the whole, and this will eventually go into my recommendation of the week. But just that feeling of being with people in a room on the couch, just like having fun like that. I don't know. That's something that I would want to experience.
Oh, what a good answer. Damn.
Yeah. I don't know. I got very nostalgic and like happy with that question. I was like, I wish I could experience some of those.
Well, because that's even your answer about Independence Day, like taps into like not just like, you know, the thing or like, you know, the because Independence Day obviously is a big part of that, but it's also the feeling and it's the excitement. Yes. It's where you were in life, and it's the way that changed you or shifted your perspective, and like, good answer.
Yeah, all of these things I went off the feeling. Like I want the feeling back, not necessarily like these could have been anything. It could have been a different movie that hit me that year, whatever it is. But it just happened to be Independence Day, and these feelings, I would, in a heartbeat, try to experience that again.
I'll say I have two that I would want to experience again, and the one leading directly from the question, I am so envious this guy's experiencing Avatar for the first time in 2025.
That's awesome.
I feel like that is
awesome.
It is so cool, and he doesn't know, like, at least, I mean, I think it's over now, but like, you know, he didn't know how anything ended, and like there's like little things that like as a child, because I remember watching the premiere of Avatar, and I remember watching the finale, so like it really stood out to me in my brain. But you know, there's little things like as a child, first of all, you don't understand how young these characters are in this, and you've seen Avatar, right?
Yes.
But like you don't understand how young these characters are, you know. But watching it as an adult, I'm like, oh my god, like they are like 14 years old, like going up against like the Empire, and you know, like what I've gained real appreciation for. This is what I'm going to say in the context of why I'm so touched by revisitation of ATLA, but like you know, Aang, his whole thing obviously is being the last Airbender. He abandoned his people. He fled the responsibilities of Avatar, got frozen for 100 years, and then returned. If you remember in season 1, there's an episode where he returns to the Air Temple where he grew up. And, you know, Katara and Sokka are there, but they haven't told him that the Airbenders were genocided, and they're all gone. Yeah. But he's exploring this air temple, and there's no sign of life. No one's around. They meet the lemur Momo, and he joins the crew. And this will tie into my why I just value Avatar so much. But like the Airbenders are a nomadic people of pacifists. You know, like that's Aang's whole thing is like pacifism, and he doesn't want to hurt anyone. And like when the scene where he goes to his former mentor Monkey Yatso's,
I know exactly
you know, where he is,
like
and
his, like training space,
or his home or whatever.
Yeah.
And not only does he find Monkey Yatso dead and his skeleton, you know, there, but surrounding him are armor and bones and skeletons of Fire Nation soldiers, showing that in his final moments, Monk Yatso compromised, and he, you know, went on the offensive and killed a whole bunch of people, but ultimately died. And what I love about this guy's like revisitation is like, I mean, when I was a child, I remember being so like, I mean, obviously the answer is kill Ozai, right? Like you have to kill the Fire Lord. There's no like way around that outcome, you know, like that's the thing, and it feels a little bit like a cop out, like a you know what's it called where it's like something pops out of nowhere, not Ex Machina, you know what I'm trying to say?
Something pops up, like it's like cliche.
Yeah, or just it's like oh now he can spirit bend and take people's bending away, and it's like that's like an easy answer, but like the conflict that Aang feels in that last season leading up to the confrontation where he's like, and he consults his past lives and he says to the past avatars, he's like, and I didn't understand it as a child, but like he doesn't want to kill not just because he personally is a pacifist, but because like this is in his mind the final bastion of his people. This is, if I kill the Fire Lord and that is how this story ends, then he did win. And my people's legacy is gone. And so I just love and appreciate Avatar so much. It's when you look back on that, they don't make TV like that anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
but like
man,
it is such a full circle complete thing, and just centers like, I mean, it's we were talking about it in Fantastic Four. It's very like pro-human. It's very like pro just the environment and like celebration of that, and like, I mean, that is just one aspect of this story that I feel like has stood the test of time and will stand the test of time forever. And like, I just like fucking love Avatar. It is so good.
I'm even envious of, you know, maybe not at 30 or whatever adult age, but even envious of having like a more fully developed brain watching it for the first time versus as a kid. Because like you said, some of the, like, I didn't even get some of these concepts until I rewatched it, you know, and it's incredible the depth that what was categorized as a children's show that this show goes
airing
into.
after SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Like they would put Aang discovering, you know, the corpses of his people, you know, like it's real shit, real.
Oh, yeah. And there's concepts of war. They're like, you know, like you said, like it's kind of like their version of like the Empire, and you know, there's, I mean, we haven't even gotten into Uncle Iroh and like everything he like kind of like tries to instill as like a influential figure towards a troubled teen. Like there's so much going on where it's like, yeah, how the fuck did this air after SpongeBob?
Zuko compromising everything about himself to appeal to his father, you know, and get his father's, you know, validation as like a man.
Family dynamics that other people are dealing with in the real world. Like, holy shit.
Like learning that like I shouldn't be living for my father's validation. And I mean, even if your dad isn't a genocidal maniac, that's probably a good you know thing for you to be leading with, you know, versus Lilo and Stitch CPS. Yeah. But my only other thing when it comes to wanting to revisit something, and this is opposite end of the spectrum from Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's not a good movie. Well, in my mind it's a good movie, but I would never like argue this point.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about movies and TV, because like you can like something and, you know, it doesn't have to be the fucking top 10 movie of all time. I
love, especially recently, Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch. I really like that movie.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Okay.
Ever seen that.
You should watch. Starring Oscar Isaac is there. Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, that's not Mr. That's Peter Pascal.
He's Dune Leto Atreides.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I remember that scene. He is like a pimp who is running a Well, it's a layered story. I don't want to say too much actually because I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil the whole thing for you. But it is a really interesting psychological deep dive.
What's like the setting? Like where is it set place? Like time and place.
We don't get a year. I would say somewhere in the 1900s, and the main character goes to a. That's a hard question to answer. Even she is framed for being like crazy, and she goes to an asylum, and within the asylum, her delusions, not delusions, but like kind of like hallucinations start to dominate, and she sees the asylum as a like a brothel essentially, and the same people are there, but instead of being patients at this place or doctors at this place, they are the madam and other girls that work at this establishment. But then there's another layer of hallucination.
This sounds very like original.
Oh,
like this doesn't sound like anything I've seen.
Well, but because then there's another layer of hallucination where in order to break out of the brothel, aka an asylum she's in, because we're like incepted, she has to go to another layer. Where in order to get a key from like some guy's back pocket, she hallucinates her and a team of girls, full machine guns, katanas, raiding and slaying dragons and demons and monsters and robots.
Shit.
And so you'll see that, and then you'll flash back to the real world where they've attained the key. But within getting the key, she hallucinates
out the bad stuff.
like a
murdering people.
Yeah, like a World War II combat scene where they're killing Nazis on the battle in the trenches. Like it is action. It is rule of cool down, and it is a movie I would love to rewatch for the first time because it's maybe I don't want to say it's not coherent, but I think it's one of those things that you'll be thinking about for days after. And I remember being really excited by the concepts this introduced. So
when did it come out?
It came out probably 2008, I want to say.
All right.
No. It was probably 2011 or so.
Okay.
Vanessa Hudgens is in it.
That's still a good time, I feel like, for movies. I feel like that's a prime time.
Yeah.
Early 2010s.
Vanessa Hudgens is in it as one of the girls in the asylum dash brothel post High School Musical, but like it's still early, because she's like a prostitute in this movie.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Never before happened. I don't think we've ever done this late before.
Yeah, no, definitely. Ooh.
We back?
Is it still recording?
Oh, yeah, it's still recording.
All right. We could just jump back in.
Oh yeah, no, we're not editing this show. Hold up, I just gotta. Sorry, everybody, you're seeing some technical difficulties.
I feel like this is like authentic. I feel like this is.
Sorry, I have a timer that goes off every day at 9 p.m. and we've never filmed at 9 p.m. So I never thought for that to. All right. See, we truly do it live.
It's a lot. This is a live affair.
We truly do. Hey, we only have another probably 15, 20 minutes. Anyway.
So Avatar: The Last Airbender, Sucker Punch. That's my answer. And overall, I just I don't know. I feel like it's exciting to reflect on stuff like that, like what you'd want to experience again, because it's like it's just reminding me what I kind of look for in media, and like what Well,
I think here we go. I think that is the excitement of showing other people that thing if they've never seen it, because you will never experience that again. But you almost get a little piece of it back when you show it to somebody, and you see them like. I'm sure you really enjoyed this guy watching and like seeing his reaction, because you're getting like a little glimpse into what you had prior. So that's very exciting.
It's kind of like low key our mission statement. Low key, like this question's feels very meta.
This is kind of what we've explained this before on the podcast, but this is what originally made us create a podcast. Was we are, two friends that met later in life, so we didn't have all the lore and history and knowledge of each other's, like nerdiness, right? Or like movies and games that we like to play. And as we started to get to know each other more, we kind of like started making that Venn diagram. But then we're like, that'd be cool. You know, I'm not big into comic books. For somebody who's super big into comic books to, you know, show me good comics, for example, and like see how I react. And I don't know, that's a fun thing. That's a fun dynamic. So yeah, you're right. This is very much kind of what started us to do this. So it was a very good prompt. Very, very good. This is all Derek. He gets the credit for this prompt this week.
Maybe worth revisiting too. I mean, I feel like this is a question I would love to explore more in general because I think it does speak to what we talk about generally. And, we got to get you to watch Sucker Punch for sure.
Yeah. All right. So I'm watching Thunderbolts. Is that what you said? Thunderbolts.
Put Thunderbolts below.
Okay.
Below
So Sucker Punch and then Thunderbolts. All right. All right. Sweet. Well, I think that's a good transition into
as I recommend. What do you have on your recommendation?
Yeah, so everybody, again, this is how we end every episode. Hopefully you're still here listening while you work during the day. We're chilling tonight.
Good job doing the dishes.
Yes.
Good job.
You're doing great.
I know it took some effort. It's not what you want to do. Made the bed too.
You see, like take a minute. See what you're doing? You see what you're doing right now? You're fucking killing it. You're fucking doing great. Right. So anyway, we give a recommendation every week. And comment if you have any recommendations because we'd love to hear them. Mine this week, and it ties heavily into the prompt about the whole basement, the sleepover with your friends and playing the games on the couch, you know. This week, or sometime in the future, please grab a friend and play the oldest games you own, couch co-op style. Just this past weekend, a friend, it was actually Angelo, he wanted to go out and get a couple beers and, you know, hang out. We played like some pool at the bar and everything. But before that, I showed up to his house and he was like, yeah, I just like kind of hooked up my old PS2 like to his TV. And I was like, oh, like, what do you have? And we ended up playing the Madden football game from 2002. It was so refreshing. I enjoyed, we played a full game. You know, it probably took like 45 minutes or something. But I'm telling you, it was so much fun. I think we've kind of lost that. And don't get me wrong, I love new tech. I love the ability to, like, you know, just text a friend and be like, hop on, and we put our headphones on and you could be halfway across the world, play video games together. Don't get me wrong. That is like majority still the case. But I am realizing that I want to implement this again more in my life. So you and other friends will be hearing from me. I'm going to start breaking out some of my old consoles. And we're going to be sitting down and we're going to be playing some classics. And I'm telling you, it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. And if you're listening and you feel like you haven't done that in a while, but you used to enjoy that, I would recommend to do it because it was good. It was fun. There's really nothing else to say. I kind of underestimated how much I would enjoy it. So yeah, I want to bring it back.
I could see that though, and especially like something like Madden that I feel like it
was super wacky, you know, like comparing it to games now. The game ended like 3-0 or 6-0 because like we kind of didn't remember how to play the game, but that was kind of the fun part. You know, and it was very chaotic, and you know, I don't know. You have the aspect of you're both picking plays on the same screen, and it's like, I don't know. It was fun.
True.
Oh yeah, it's almost like you have to like play strategically. Be like, okay, well, I kind of think he's gonna do something like this, and you know, there's a lot of split screen games that are like that, where it's like, oh, don't look or something, or I don't know. But it was really fun. We enjoyed it. It was very like goofy and wacky, and you know, kind of something I needed in the world of ripping Cyberpunk every day, and then I needed something like this. So anybody listening, if you know, I'm not saying you ever gave it up completely, but if it's something that this right now is like piquing your interest, like, you know what, like if this is the sign to do it, do it. Even to the point I would like to have a like once a week, even if it's just me, just sitting down at the couch with an old system and just like play for an hour. It was very enjoyable. So That's a recommendation. I'm sure you'll hear from me at some point. I'll try to get maybe even a couple friends we're all playing like Star Wars Battlefront or something.
Oh, that'd be so lit. So, yeah. I haven't played that in so long.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, right. my recommendation is somewhat of a continuation from last week, 2 weeks ago. I've been playing Pokemon Violet.
Last week you talked about this. So.
I'm recommending it, but it's with discretion because I feel like I've talked a little bit about some of my gripes with like maybe the more modern kind of Pokemon stuff. I think I used the words game for babies last time that we talked about this. And I don't mean that all the way. Now that I've played, to be clear, I just in my somewhat review recommendation, there are aspects of it I really like. I really like that I ended up really liking that it's not linear and that you could just kind of move through objectives at your own pace. You have 3 overall goals of, defeating the Titan Pokemon, getting the gym badges, and defeating like Team Star. Those are 3 separate objectives that each have a certain number of, things to do, and you can do it at your own pace across the whole map. I kind of like that. I kind of feel like, and then when you look at the map, it always tells you the order you did things in, so you can see like, I moved around this way through the map or whatever it was. And that's in addition to completing the Pokédex, which is what I'm trying to do. I want to catch them all. Yes. And that's cool. It does kind of drag, but that's probably just like a consequence of it being not the most linear game. Where in the past, like I think when I reflect on playing, like especially like Pokemon Emerald, I feel like there was always forward momentum in a way because like you did have a set path that you were following. And this is you can go your own way. So I think that's probably just why that is. But
what is going on?
You're setting all these timers, man. It's efficient.
No, I turned it off. Hold up, everybody. I swear we're almost done. This is the first.
Yeah, no, this is abnormal.
I think we've ever had.
Yeah,
right,
no,
it has to be off now. Hold up. I'm gonna like physically turn every alarm off. All right. This is to prove to everybody that we truly are doing this live. We do not edit. I mean, maybe in the future, we will, maybe put higher production shit out. But we truly just hit record and then start, and then at the end, we just hit it.
All that to say, in true conclusion of the Pokemon Violet thing,
yes,
I just feel like it's not the most exciting thing, and maybe some of this has been like addressed. I don't even know what the objective of Pokemon Legenza is. There's some sort of story that I saw. It would take like 25 hours. It said to complete the main story of it.
Okay.
I don't know what that entails because I don't think you're doing gym badges and I don't think you're doing stuff like that. But regardless, I don't know. It's been kind of fun to revisit Pokemon. You're kind of the Pokemon guy, so I feel like
I mean, this even you say that might be enough at some point in the next month or two for me to. I had Scarlet. Were you vibing with because they have the mech version of the Pokemon and like the ancient primal version of so were you like more drawn towards the Violet, like the mech looking one? Or?
I was so this I can attribute to my man, but I think we were collectively more drawn to the Professor and Violet.
Oh, because there's different professors. Oh, I didn't know that.
You got the lady with like a caveman aesthetic professor.
Yeah, that does ring a bell. Yep.
I got
I'm like on the more primal side of things.
Yeah, and the one in Violet is like a sleek man with a beard.
Oh,
so
all right.
maybe that's why we got that one. I don't know. But I think you would like aspects of it. And story-wise it's cute. I mean like it's like an island that is a school. So you're running around and you're seeing all the like it's other students.
I got a couple gym badges.
Oh,
and
yeah,
like
so
beat like 2 of the like bosses. I think I beat now I'm sorry. That fucking there's like a car. There's a car. There's a dude with like a car Pokemon.
Reverum.
That pissed me off, but I have played some of it. I got a shiny Pokemon, the Lechonk, right? The pig. That was one of the first Pokemon I found in the wild. It was a shiny one, and then I have it's now like evolved. Which I don't know the name of Lechonk's. I'm surprised I even remembered Lechonk.
Lechonk. Hey, you knew it. You pulled it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this will convince me to just take a deep breath and be like, it's not that deep. and try it again. You know, But you know what I might do? I might make it like a Nuzlocke or something.
Yeah.
Like,
I
think if it were more difficult, I think I would enjoy it more. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll Nuzlocke.
I do. I will say also, like, I have been more challenged by this game than I thought I would be.
Oh, okay.
I haven't lost any gym battles, you know, but like there have been gym battles where I had one Pokemon left, and that was kind of surprising to me because I feel like you know, maybe I'm doing stuff before I'm at the appropriate level, but like they don't really tell you. So I feel like it's like, you know, there is fun to figuring that out. And what I will say is maybe just in conclusion on Pokemon Violet, I think there are really strong gym leader concepts in a way where I like was not expecting, because you can only do, the fighting type gym leader whose gym is a dojo.
Yeah,
we've been there.
We've done that many times.
But you know, like there's the bug type gym leader is a pastry chef, and part of the pitch is like, you know, and she's like a thick lady in like a chef outfit, and she's like, you know, like bug Pokemon like are like a surprising bite in the middle of like a candy or something. And I'm like, okay, that's a stretch, but I love creativity and I love like playing with the, you know, gym leader concepts. The electric gym leader is like a streamer, so you have to like, you know, so like you have to help her with her stream before she, you know, battles you on her stream. Like there's cute stuff going on.
Okay. I said, I think
to a degree.
And again, I've always liked the whole like big world where you see the Pokemon like walking in the grass.
Yeah.
That I think is very cool. But I think I'll probably Nuzlocke it or do some sort of like soft Nuzlocke or maybe create some rules for myself, because it's got to be more difficult. And then I guess I'll just grudge through the crab and like the swan and everything.
Honestly, well, through beating those, what incentivized me is you get more movement abilities for your mount, you know, like that Pokemon. Yeah. So like upon defeating 1, you get to dash. 2, you get to jump higher. 3, you can glide. You know what I mean? Like you get cool stuff through defeating those. So I would say give it a swing.
Maybe give it a go. I'll give it a go. I don't know. I don't know if it'll beat out Sword and Shield for me, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe it will. And maybe, like you said, I put a lot of my Pokemon from Pokemon Home onto there just so I could no longer pay for the home service, because it's insane that I have to pay to have virtual storage for my Pokemon. I mean, it's like just like I think it's like $20 for the whole year or something. So I essentially paid like $20 to be able to move all of my Pokemon to like the respective games that they can stay on. So like Pokemon Sword, I completed the Pokedex. And the reason I could do that is because I could take like Pokemon like Mew and like all those ones like from my other games to the home to that, right? Because I have like the 2DS and 3DS games that I moved it up, and then like, so I took pretty much everything that I had Pokemon on, I moved it all up into a like cloud and then spread it out to the Switch games.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. So I do have like, I kind of just threw Pokemon in the PC because I was like, these are the last ones I need to dish out onto a game, because not all the games like take all the Pokemon. So maybe that could also be a fun thing. I'm like, oh, like what if I just run around with a Mew or something? I don't. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll look into that. I don't know which mythical in that game it is, but I'll have to take a look. I am curious because I have not opened that game like since it came out. But yeah, no, you're inspiring me here. So we'll see. Maybe I'll give it another go. I gotta stop being so cranky about it and put my own twist on it and have fun with it.
And you already have it, so you're not spending more money on a new game.
Exactly, you know? Yeah. Worst comes to worst, I play it for another 5-10 hours and then I just put it down, you know, so, yeah.
But that's all I got today. You have anything else?
Yeah, no, I think...
for the table?
No, I don't think so. I think think we did good.
Yeah.
We did good today. Besides the technical difficulties.
I mean, as you said, it's just authentic.
Yeah,
so,
yep,
you know,
I
definitely...
You guys are just in the room with us for an hour and a half, and then
Yeah.
we rip it, and then you go about your day, and you keep doing the dishes, and you keep working. Keep killing it.
keep doing it. Keep on keeping on.
And again, we are the Late Game Link podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Robbie.
I'm Derek, and
it was always a pleasure.
We'll see you next time. Like, comment, and subscribe, and
hit the bell.
Look out for more from us soon.
Yes, for sure. On socials, TikTok, whatever it is, we'll get it done.
Period.
Good seeing you.